Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? How do we like that starting soon screen? Took me like 9 years to make it, but we got it. Hold on, I gotta open a Coke Zero real quick. We're gonna get started here in just 1 second. Having a few computer issues. Yeah, so like we always do, we're gonna wait a couple minutes, everybody get in here. But get home from out of town today, and I got some new stuff for the computer. I put it in to try to make these things a little bit better. And the computer freaks out. I get a blue screen, says my computer's faulty, whatever. So I spent an hour on that. I think I figured it out, but we'll see. So bear with me tonight if there are any issues or lagging. Then I got that cool text up there, so let's go. We had my nephew's birthday today, and we played Top Golf, I think it's what it's called. I think I golfed a little bit with Dad when I was young, and I haven't ever since then, since like I was like 5. I don't even know, maybe I was older, I can't remember, but I hit a few balls today. Felt pretty proud of myself. Here. Thanks. I like the new text too. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. We're going to talk about sleep and why it's important for your health. I think this is kind of a no-brainer, but people like to slack on this. And, you know, I have been as well. So always a good topic to talk about something you're slacking in, right? And let me know if the music's too loud too. But I want to go over just some basic information, not really outlining all the different hormonal processes that happen at night, but just that that sleep is the easiest thing you can do for your health, and especially if you exercise. Sleep is incredibly important. So let me break this down for you real quick. When you work out, you put stress on your body. We know this, right? You break down your muscle and it has to recover. So you eat your protein, like your meats and all that stuff. But your body recovers and repairs itself during your sleep, you know? So it's not just because you had your protein shake 10 minutes after you're done with your workout that your body is magically good to go. It takes time to repair, and our bodies like to do that when we're sleeping. So first and foremost, if you're not sleeping, you're not recovering. And we talked about in our last live stream that rest, relaxation, and recovery are very important, especially for your mental state, right? So for an example, proteins that we eat, whether that be if you're a vegan and you have your protein from a protein powder or beans or whatever, or if you eat meat like chicken and beef, proteins are made of these things called amino acids, and our body takes these amino acids, and there's so many different kinds of them. Our body breaks down the protein, takes these amino acids, and uses them to help repair our body after exercise or whatnot for recovery. And it does this with the human growth hormone, and we release that when we sleep. So it is very important, yes, to get your protein, but it is just as equally as important to get your sleep. Now, I know everyone's going to fight me on this and say, hey, well, you know, I get 5 hours of sleep and I'm good to go the next day. I really recommend everyone try to get 7 to 9. And I know that's really hard to get 9 hours. I can't get 9 hours either, but that's why I want to do the window of 7 to 9 hours of sleep is a good time for recovery. So really try to hone in on that. But there also are a lot of studies, especially in the last 5 years, that have shown people that who consistently don't get proper sleep tend to be overweight. that's for kids and adults alike. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that. Like, just because you don't sleep for a week doesn't mean you gain 5 pounds. But there's a lot of things that our bodies do throughout the day and that they need to do at night after we, after we've gone throughout the day. There's a lot of things that our bodies need to do while we rest. And so when we hinder those functions, it can hinder how our bodies react moving forward. Does that make sense to y'all? But also too, there have been studies to show that when we don't sleep, we kind of get the munchies. When you're tired, you seem to want to eat more, right? Now, I don't know exactly why this is the case, but thinking about past clients that I've had and things that I've experienced myself, it is true to some degree that when we're constantly tired or we stay up late, whatever the case may be, we tend to consume more calories. It's just how it is. So, easy step, if you're getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, it'll help out with that. Concentration, and productivity. I wrote this down because I think all of us, we obviously know when we get our rest, we feel like we can pay attention more. We feel that we are good to go throughout all of our day and not struggle. And this is really big when it comes to exercise, because if you're getting a consecutive amount or consistently getting amount of like 5 hours of sleep, you're always tired, you're always drained. You can never really push your body to the limit that you normally could if you let it rest. This pertains to work and whatnot, but when it comes to the gym, man, some of you guys can go ahead and tell me right now, like, the last month you've been at the gym, it's been a struggle to lift just a little bit amount of weight because you're so tired. And yes, I do give you props for coming to the gym, awesome, but I want you to be able to push yourself and actually work out to the best of your ability, and you just can't do that when you're on such low rest. So concentration, productivity, get your sleep, you can get more done. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see here. There have been studies also, I don't want to go through all these different studies that I've read about, but when it comes to performance, like sports performance, and this could be too for you runners, maybe you're 40 or 50 years old and you're trying to train for marathons. A lot of studies have shown that when we give our bodies rest, all the chemicals can rebalance, we repair, our performance is always, always greater. So if you feel like you're slacking in that department as well, it could be because you're not sleeping. It could be that easy, that simple. Coke Zeros are great. I'm not saying you should drink them all the time, but man, I love them. One a day is good. Or not, no. One every other day. How about that? There have been studies to also show that when you are a poor sleeper, let's call it that you have a greater risk of heart disease and stroke. Again, don't take that as in if you don't sleep, you're definitely going to get these things, but eating healthy, working out, exercising, sleep, they're all in a line, they're all together, right? We can't think because, I'm eating healthier, but I'm only getting 2 hours of sleep every single night and I'm downing caffeine, coffee all day, that my body is going to function appropriately. There are issues when we don't give our body time to recover. Okay? And yeah, that study showed if you get less than 7 hours for a continuous amount of time, your increase for heart disease and stroke go up. And for people who might be younger, okay, you might get away with it. For people like us that are 30 and older, it's something to think about. Those are real things. Heart disease and stroke are real things. And if there's one way to combat that, it's sleeping. I think that's a pretty easy thing, right? We can do that. Okay, so this is another good one. So I had this one person, and I'm not going to call them out at all. Everyone has their own thoughts on things. I had one person tell me like, oh, I can't believe you eat rice because rice turns to sugar. Well, I hate to break it to you, but any kind of carb that you eat, your body's going to break it down to glucose. And I'll get into, all that in a second here. Glucose is just another word for sugar, and it's what our body uses when we need to exercise, move around, move. I mean, you need glucose in your muscles. So, if you're working out, and we talked about this in a past live stream, if you're working out, lifting weights, running, but let's just primarily talk about lifting weights, your body is going to pull sugar from your muscles so that you can perform that exercise. Which is why I think it's great, I told one client, if you want to have a few blueberries or maybe some orange juice before your workout, just to get some glucose in your body, in your muscles, so that way you can perform your best. And then when you run out of the glucose already stored in your muscles, you kind of start feeling like tired. I can't lift anymore. I'm exhausted. You've depleted pretty much all of your glucose in your muscles. Now, not all of it, but you've depleted a good portion, right? Well, when we sleep, our bodies will take the carbs that we've eaten throughout the day and go ahead and fill up our muscles with that glucose so the next day we can use it. And I know that sounds super scientific-y and you're like, that's kind of lame, but like that's how it works. So yeah, eat healthy, but when you're sleeping, your body's preparing you and getting your muscles ready to work for the next day. And of course, your bodies will kind of do that throughout the day as well, but when we sleep, that's when we are able to utilize all those carbs and then put them into our muscles for use later on. So poor sleeping habits will hinder that for sure. And then depression. I don't want to talk about depression, but I've been there, and there is a huge link to feeling down, feeling upset, feeling bad. Your mental state's just in a really tough place. There's a link between depression and a poor sleeping habit. Again, I'm not going to say if you don't sleep your full 7 hours for a week or two that you'll hit depression. But like right now, a lot of clients I talk to, and even myself to some degree, you feel down, and that really could be one of the reasons for that could be is just that you just don't sleep. There's other factors that fall into that as well, but just know that if you're already in a tough mental state, staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning and getting up at 6 a.m. is not helping at all. So a simple little tool there to help yourself out if you're kind of down. Make sure you get your rest. And then a big factor now, especially with all this stuff that's going on in the world, our immune systems that keep us healthy. For them to work to their fullest extent, we have to get our sleep. Sleep will improve your immune function, first and foremost. And there's a lot of things that play into that as well, but I think all of us, with all the things that are happening right now in the world, the last thing we want to do is get sick, or maybe something that wouldn't make us sick. Our immune systems aren't functioning as well, and we're suddenly always starting to get a cold, or you get this or that. It could be due to you just not sleeping for a prolonged period of time, So 8 hours of sleep. Then did I put anything else? Yeah, sleep affects your emotions. We just kind of went over that. So the bottom line here, along with your nutrition and your exercise, good sleep is one of the pillars of health. I wrote that sentence. It sounds pretty good, right? Gotta have all three: nutrition, exercise, good sleep, and you're in business. So pretty simple stuff. Questions over those things? Now, I know everyone's schedules are really busy. We're all different. But I think a good rule of thumb, too, is you got to look at your priorities. I find myself staying up late, watching Netflix sometimes with a wifey. But if you're getting up early the next day, you need to prioritize your time. Make sure you relax and do stuff for yourself, but think it's going to be really hard to kind of convince me you can't get 7 hours. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we have throughout the day. I get it with work and all that. But I also think we find time to do leisurely activities that take up a lot of our time. And all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock p.m. and we have 3 more hours of work to get done. Just make sure you make it a priority. 9 hours is really what I shoot for. I feel at my best. And that's what a lot of health journals will say. But 7 to 9. 7 to 9. I would like the glasses, by the way. Does it make me look smarter? I thought if I put them on tonight, you might take me more serious. But the main thing I do, because obviously I am a fitness coach, if you want to call it that, trainer. I just don't like that word. Trainer just makes me sound not as, this doesn't sound as cool. Fitness coach. If you want to exercise, if you're trying to lift weights and you're trying to burn those calories, if you want to be at your best, you gotta sleep. 100%. You ain't doing that, you're not going to perform. Now, I'm not talking about bench pressing 500 pounds. I'm talking about if there's 9 exercises we want to get done in the gym, you know, if you're tired after 2, it might be because you're just choosing not to sleep. I like to see you at your best. Get your sleep. Get your sleep. Can't say it enough. Take a look at Lola. She gets her sleep, I promise you on that. So it's very, very crucial. Exercise, nutrition, sleep. You have all 3, you're cooking. Anybody have any questions over those? Get your protein in. If you want your body to use it, utilize it to repair those muscles during your sleep. During your sleep cycle is when it does that. So protein shakes are great, but what's the point if you can't use them? Awesome. So with that being said, we'll just chill for a little bit. If anybody has any questions or wants to talk about anything, I'm eyeing the chat right here. If not, we'll end the stream here in just a minute. I thought it was interesting though, you know, when I was reading these journal articles of studies, you know, there's been studies for years and years and years, but when, you know, I like to look at journal articles in the last 5 years because, you know, science changes or people find new things. And like in the last 5 years, almost every single journal said that weight gain is linked to poor sleep habits. I thought that was really interesting, you know? It didn't completely describe to me all the chemicals that happen, but it mostly just said, yeah, like for some reason we are hungrier or we tend to consume more calories. Some people actually, 89% more calories consumed when less than 7 hours of sleep over a year span. Pretty big. It's pretty big. All right, so we're going to end it there, friends. As I always say every single time, if it's 1 of you, if it's 10 of you, anybody who's watching this video now on the live stream or watches it at another time, I appreciate you guys. It means a lot to me. I hope you learned something from this. Get your sleep. It's super, super important. If you guys could leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And I love you guys. Have an awesome, awesome Sunday night. And if I see you tomorrow at the gym, we got something a little new for you guys. So be looking forward to that. Have an awesome night. Love you guys. Peace.